All right, man, on to our review of Knives Out. How about this? Rian Johnson, the director behind Looper and Star Wars The Last Jedi, has crafted a murder mystery movie featuring an all-star cast. When done right, a whodunit movie can be fun and exciting. So Matt and I grabbed our notebooks and our detective kits, headed to the theater in search of clues. We needed to find out if this murder is fun to solve. Knives Out wastes no time jumping into the plot. After a family party one evening, the patriarch of the family, Harlan, played by Christopher Plummer, is found dead. The initial thought, suicide. However, when Detective Blanc, Daniel Craig, shows up, some motives for murder start to appear from various family members. In fact, the more Blanc talks to family members, the more convoluted the night of the murder becomes. It seems each and every family member has a reason to be a suspect. And this is some clan. It includes Michael Shannon, Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson, Toni Collette, and Chris Evans. Not to mention Ana de Armas, who plays Harlan's nurse, Marta, who the family is very fond of, even if they can't agree on where she is from. Great running joke in the film. The irony here is that Harlan made his fortune writing murder mystery novels. Can Detective Blanc solve Harlan's last case? I'm going to make a bold statement here, Matt. This is perhaps the best murder mystery film of all time. The script is amazing. It flips the reveal on its head, and it's fun solving the case comes at us from a different angle than we suspect going in. Secondly, the tone is literally perfect. I kept describing this film as a great romp, and it is. It is just a total joy of a film. It's funny, smart, aware of itself, and plays with the genre in ways we have not seen before. The acting from the aforementioned is great. All of them got it. They knew exactly what Rian Johnson wanted. And speaking of Rian Johnson, I can't say enough good things about his effort here. In many ways, this is a perfect film. It even has a gag at the end that so many times would be considered wonky, but here it's done with confidence. It caps off a delightful film that I can't see anyone not liking. Screw liking. I loved it. Matt?
Are you talking about the gag with the knife or the coffee mug? Okay.
Both, actually. Both work.
Yeah, both work. I wouldn't say the coffee mug.
But I was really describing the knife.
Okay. I agree with you almost 100%, man. This is probably the best murder mystery since Clue.
Yeah, and I think it surpasses Clue. I'd have to say, granted, we have Clue in, as a classic.
It's certainly heavily influenced by Clue, and they sort of even just put that right out there from the get-go, because this takes place in a sort of a mystery mansion, and I think they even say it's like we're living in a Clue board.
Well, correct, they do.
And you're right, the cast is just phenomenal. They got all these like very talented actors together, and they just freaking nail it. Everybody knew exactly what they were going for, and Rian Johnson is a true talent. His direction, some of the choices he makes with the filmmaking are great, but I have to give props to Daniel Craig because his detective, Benoit Blanc, is absolutely bizarre. He does this like foghorn leghorn impersonation. As soon as his voice comes out, it's Daniel Craig doing this, a guy who we're used to seeing as Bond, and all of a sudden he's got this really, really slow Southern drawl. It was so perfect. And it was great to see Chris Evans kind of turn heel. Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun with this movie. It was just good.
The script is so smart because
it's very smart. It even has some well-placed jabs at today's political...
Correct.
Yeah.
So it has fun. It fits in today's political climate and is going to get under people's skin discussing that. But that isn't its motive. It's really the motive of this movie is to have fun at the theater. That's it. I mean, you're going to go in and enjoy the hell out of this movie.
Yeah. It's like a really, really smart episode of Scooby-Doo.
Right.
It scratches that itch. It's a mystery.
And we went last year, there was a remake of Murder on the Orient Express that had this large cast. And
that could have been this.
That could have been this. And I went into that hoping to get some joy out of that, and it was a disaster. It went off the tracks. But this one, wow, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's fun. You're trying to solve the case. And like I say, it turns that trying to solve the case on its head, because I don't want to give that away, because I remember you going into the screening asking me, am I going to be able to solve this? And I didn't want to say, well, there's a twist to the whole script.
They use the convention of a murder mystery to their advantage very, very well. It kept me guessing. Like, I didn't figure it all out right away. It's not just like something you can suss out and then you're just sort of waiting for the characters to catch up with you. Even after we get the final reveal and we know who done it, so to speak, there's just enough epilogue to leave you feeling really satisfied. It was just a very satisfying movie.
It sure was. Anything else you want to break down, highlight?
Yeah, I would say Jamie Lee Curtis is probably at her best in this. I mean, she's phenomenal in general. She's on a bit of a roll lately, and it was really fun to see her.
I agree. One scene that I wanted to highlight was the family comes together for the will reading because, obviously the patriarch of the family has died, and they come together for this will reading. Of course, it's nothing that anybody in the family suspected. And the moment this wild bunch goes crazy, and the yelling and the editing that they use here is so perfect, it heightens this entire moment, that when that scene comes to an end, we had an applause break in the theater because everybody was just so into the scene. It was just so funny.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would highlight is the way they open the movie with the interviews. So there's these two cops. They introduce each character by interviewing them in turn, which is very, very funny. And then Benoit Blanc is sitting in the background just tapping one key on a piano, and they're like, I'm sorry, who are you? It's funny as hell.
It was great.
It was really good.
And one of the detectives or the cops is actually a very big fan of Harlan's writing, so he loves all these murder mysteries. I love how he would chime in, oh, that's a plot point from such and such novel.
Right. It's got its own sort of lore and pop culture within the film.
I saw it. I was lucky enough now to see it twice, and I can tell you, even better on a second viewing, because I knew the characters, and I could tell this is going to be one that people are going to watch numerous times. How many Jaws, Matt K?
I'd give this one 3.5 Jaws.
I'm going a full 4.
Going a full 4, huh? 4
Jaws for Knives Out. Really love this one.
I didn't see that one coming at all. When you guys were talking about it, I was like, that sounds terrible. Now it sounds great.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good.
It is. It's a real... If you enjoy... one more time. If you enjoyed this review, click subscribe.
And while you're at it, turn on post notifications fuck. All right, start it again.